Hello, I'm Craig Brailsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is Comprehensive Healthcare Systems. Comprehensive Healthcare Systems represents a rare opportunity to invest in a de-risked, revenue-generating healthcare SaaS platform entering the scaling phase, a pivotal inflection point in its growth trajectory. Following a multi-year operational restructuring and the installation of seasoned professional management, Comprehensive Healthcare Systems has transformed from a legacy underinvested operator into a scalable, high-margin technology company with strong revenue visibility and accelerating momentum. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Zeo Energy Corp. Zeo Energy is a vertically integrated provider of residential solar energy systems, other energy-efficient equipment, and related services, currently serving customers in Florida, Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Its primary business activity is selling and installing residential solar energy systems that homeowners use to supplement the amount of usable electricity required to power their homes. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Invest in something you can get your arms around and be very conservative. Own enough stocks so that you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. This quote comes from Dave Maley of Ariel Discovery Fund, and it is featured in Chapter 5 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $21. Now let's get started with our first interview today with Comprehensive Healthcare Systems. Today we have Chris Cosgrove, the President and CEO of Comprehensive Healthcare Systems Incorporated, trading on the OTC under the ticker CMHSF. Chris, welcome to RedChip Studios.
Thank you, Craig. It's great to be here.
Now, for those investors brand new to the story, Comprehensive Healthcare Systems, I think you're probably going to want to mention why the name Comprehensive and what is the fundamental problem you're trying to solve.
Sure. So about Comprehensive, we're a SaaS-based technology company where we provide a software platform in a modular fashion to unions, employers that self-administer their healthcare benefits, third-party administrators, and the government in order to automate their healthcare benefits and pension administration.
So you're trying to be like a one-stop shop?
We have a fully integrated platform that takes what is currently a fragmented industry today and helps automate this entire benefit administration continuum. That's what we do.
Now, Chris, just how big is this market that you're in, and how do you intend to make money in it?
Sure. So the market is huge. We see it somewhere between 4 to 6 billion worth of annual revenue a year that's spent on technology in this health and welfare and pension administration space. So, and how we plan on making money is through a variety of different mechanisms. First, there are some federally mandated verticals like the Taft-Hartley Union that we market to. That's a vertical mandated to use this technology. But there's third-party administrators, self-funded employers, the government, all need this technology. So through both organic growth as well as inorganic growth as there's a roll-up strategy opportunity to acquire some companies that would also allow us to grow rapidly in an inorganic fashion.
Now, Chris, your company is one of the few government-mandated service providers under the Taft-Hartley Act. Could you explain what all that means and how it's a massive advantage for your company?
Sure. So one of our verticals is the Taft-Hartley union space, which is called the multi-employer union space, where the Taft-Hartley governs that particular market segment, and they're mandated to use technology to run their health and welfare and pension benefits programs. And so, they have to use our technology or a technology like ours in the space.
Now, Chris, you said you're one of the few there. Just how hard is it for a competitor to break in?
Yeah, it's a challenge and would be a challenge for any competitor to break into this space. The Taft-Hartley union space is also called the multi-employer market, where unlike a regular employer, which may have one set of eligibility rules for their benefits, a multi-employer union would operate with multiple employers under that particular umbrella of the union. And the complexity of managing multiple eligibility files, multiple pension rules, and contribution rates makes it very hard to have a technology platform and enter this space.
Chris, you mentioned that you're one of the few and that it's hard to get where you are now. One of the reasons is your Novus 360 platform. One of the things it can do is that it can automate up to 85% of claims adjudication. But why don't you tell us more about it?
Certainly. Well, when you take a look at our Novus 360 platform, from the time a member enrolls into their healthcare benefits to they get their eligibility, to their claim is processed that may come from a provider or the hospital, our technology can actually, with its built-in logic, can understand what that provider is trying to bill and only pay the part of the claim that's appropriate for that particular member.
That sounds like AI. Are you using AI in your business?
So we are using some AI in our business today, not necessarily around our claims processing, but for workflow enhancement and digital engagement, we're now using AI to better interact with our.
And tell us anything more. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to hear more about the Novus 360. Anything else you need?
Sure. So not only do we help save money on the claims processing, but because the logic can auto-adjudicate specific claims, it saves time for our clients that don't have to manually process claims. That, along with pension administration or annuities or 401ks, allows us very uniquely to have a fully integrated solution with one database and one data asset to manage all of their members, whether they're active or retirees.
Turning now to revenue, Chris, you're targeting annualized recurring revenue of about $10 million for 2026. At that point, what is your margin going to look like?
Sure. So at that point, we're going to see our gross profits being somewhere between 65 and 70%. And we're looking to have our EBITDA somewhere between 10 and 15% on an annualized basis.
Final question, Chris, and it's the most important one. Why should anyone be interested in Comprehensive right now? And specifically, I want to know, what are your plans to grow and scale?
Sure. So the market continues to grow as more and more employers are moving towards a self-administered or self-funded healthcare benefits model. So we're uniquely positioned to really do well in this space. Now, when you take a look at what the opportunity for us is, currently we have about $25 million in contracted revenue with our existing client base today. We see in the next 2 years to get that as high as about $100 million under contract right there. And we see that coming through both organic growth as well as the opportunity for acquisition.
Chris, it has been a pleasure welcoming you to Orlando, and best wishes with Comprehensive Healthcare System.
Craig, thank you so very much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Now, to get more information on comprehensive healthcare systems, visit cmhsinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like comprehensive healthcare systems. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip's CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $21. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Zeo Energy Corp. Hello, today we have Tim Bridgewater, the chairman and CEO of Zeo Energy Corporation. Tim, great to have you.
Thank you.
Tim, please start by giving our viewers a high-level overview of Zeo Energy today and how the company spans residential solar, commercial projects, and long-duration energy storage.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Our company was started in 2019. Effectively, we are a residential installer of solar and storage. We took the company public on the NASDAQ in 2024. We're a regional company operating in 6 or 7 key markets in the U.S., doing sales, installation, and maintenance of residential solar and storage systems. On the commercial side, we're a system integrator for solar and storage using long duration, meaning 12 plus hours storage technologies. In the long term, we want to become a behind the meter power company delivering clean energy to residential and commercial customers.
All right, Zeo operating across multiple revenue streams from residential solar to commercial energy storage and engineering services. Like to hear a little bit about that, maybe. How does the company generate revenue today, and how do you see that evolving over time?
Primarily, we've been in a high growth market doing residential sales, financing, and services. The high interest rates slowed that market down, but now it's coming back as interest rates go down. But that's our primary business. And then we're in the early innings in commercial projects, but we have several data center developers that we're working on to provide power solutions and storage similar to the Creekstone projects that we just announced. There's really an insatiable, exploding demand for power to literally fuel the AI data center boom, and we're providing a competitively priced, clean energy solution for base load power that's desperately demanded by the hyperscalers like Meta and Amazon and Google and others.
Now, originally, Zeo had built a profitable, vertically integrated residential solar business. Then you bought Heliogen. Tell us about how Heliogen changes your company's long-term strategy and market opportunity.
Great question. Our engineering and technology team that we acquired with Heliogen is focused on long duration energy storage, 12 plus hours using compressed CO2 and or molten salt technology, which is charged with solar power. So it's a solar plus storage. And that acquisition has opened the door for us to now develop in arguably the hottest growth market and investment opportunity in the world today with the AI data center boom. McKinsey and KKR estimate that $7 trillion of CapEx will be spent globally, with nearly half of that in the U.S. Just 1 gigawatt of an AI data center is over $7 billion of spend, and the U.S. expects to bring on 100 to 150 new gigawatts by 2030. So we think that Heliogen's positioned us to take advantage of this high growth sector.
Speaking of data centers, let's talk about Creekstone Energy. You recently announced an MOU with them to support a large AI data center development. How should investors be thinking about the scale, the economics, and like the repeatability of this kind of project?
It's another good question. This is our first announced project. We've been developing this sector for the last 6 months. Creekstone's first gigawatts underway with plans to build multiple gigawatts at this Creekstone site. Our 280 megawatts of power and storage will provide as much as half of the energy needs for the first phase of their project. Our PV plus storage solution is providing power at prices below the threshold that's required by hyperscalers today. So that ranges from usually $100 to $140 per megawatt hour, and we're building a solution that's cheaper than that threshold. Our solution designs are modular, and so we have design templates that can be reused on different projects or to scale larger on existing projects. And we're currently in discussions with several other project sites along with the Creekstone site.
All right, data centers, of course, energy intensive. What differentiates your long term energy storage solutions from traditional battery only approaches?
Yeah, very good question. I mean, the solar side is a commodity. It's very replicable easily. But if you talk about the batteries, lithium ion batteries scale linearly for these big data centers, and the costs go up and it gets less competitive the longer the duration. Whereas we're cheaper at large scale than the traditional lithium ion solutions. Molten salt storage, for example, has higher economies of scale, and our solutions are very low or no degradation over time, over a 30 to 40-year life cycle for our technologies. Um, that enables daily deep cycling for decades with minimal capacity fading like lithium. Lithium, by contrast, has to be replaced every 10 to 15 years. And so, from a cost perspective, long term, we have a much better solution. Our storage solutions of 8 to 24, up to 24 hours are more practical. There's no fire risk, so the toxicity or the safety issues are solved utilizing our systems, and no emissions, so it's a low environmental impact.
Final question, Tim, and it's an important one. What is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Zeo Energy right now?
Greg, that's a great question. We're living through one of the biggest infrastructure buildouts in American history. AI is transforming the economy and creating unprecedented demand for electricity. Data centers can train AI models, but they need round the clock energy to power the digital economy. At Zeo, we see that challenge as the opportunity. Our strategy is to bring together solar generation and long duration energy storage to deliver what the industry needs: clean, resilient, and reliable baseload power. When you combine solar plus molten salt storage and compressed CO2, you can deliver electricity when it's needed, where it's needed, not just when the sun's shining. Zeo's solution is designed to deliver firm, dispatchable, renewable power, solar energy stabilized with long duration storage so the data centers can operate reliably 24/7. That's it. At Zeo, we believe the future of electricity will be distributed, renewable, and supported by long duration energy, and we hope you'll come along for the ride.
Great story, Tim. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thanks, Craig.
Now, to get more information on Zeo Energy, visit zeoenergyinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Zeo Energy. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip's CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $21. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Comprehensive Healthcare Systems, CMHSF, on the OTCQB. Comprehensive Healthcare Systems represents a rare opportunity to invest in a de-risked, revenue-generating healthcare SaaS platform entering the scaling phase, a pivotal inflection point in its growth trajectory. Following a multi-year operational restructuring and the installation of seasoned professional management, Comprehensive Healthcare Systems has transformed from a legacy underinvested operator into a scalable, high-margin technology company with strong revenue visibility and accelerating momentum. Learn more at cmhsfinfo.com. Then you met Zeo Energy Corp, ZEO, on the NASDAQ. Zeo Energy Corp is a vertically integrated provider of residential solar energy systems, other energy-efficient equipment, and related services, currently serving customers in Florida, Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Its primary business activity is selling and installing residential solar energy systems that homeowners use to supplement the amount of usable electricity required to power their homes. Learn more at zeoenergyinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less, and it's categorized by industry. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-REDCHIP or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
RedChip. We build investor audiences for small cap companies, retail and institutional. 33 years, thousands of clients. We are experts in messaging. National TV ad campaigns, investor webinars, digital media, reaching hundreds of thousands of investors. RedChip. We do it well, we do it right, we do it big. RedChip. Call us or email us today.
A new era of small cap research has arrived with RedChip's RedChat, the fastest, most accurate AI assistant for small caps. The days of spending hours sifting through press releases, 10Ks, 10Qs, 8Ks, 13Fs, 13Gs, and other filings is over. Now, get answers in seconds on 4,000 small cap stocks in one portal. Simple, fast, accurate, detailed answers. Meet small caps with RedChat.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian John. I am the CEO of Off the Hook Yacht Sales. We are the largest buyer and seller of used boats in the entire country. We have an AI-driven technology platform that was started 13 years ago that keeps our teams from making mistakes. On the buy side, it's really important in used boats that you don't buy a boat wrong. You can make mistakes and have problems really quickly, and our system prevents that from happening. And on the sell side, it allows our 70 reps access to our inventory 24/7. They know where a boat is, where it's located, what's in the boat, what they can sell it for if there's any work being done. And the system's gotten so smart it actually connects the dots between buyers and sellers for our sales teams now. So in other words, if we're even shopping a boat or putting a bid on a boat, our system will automatically go out and find a broker that has a customer looking for a similar boat within our system and ping that broker and tell them to go show that client this particular boat. So it's really set up to keep us from making mistakes, and that's why we're number one in the country. It's our platform that allows us to do so. Recently, we put out a release. We signed definitive agreements to acquire Apex Marine Group. It's a very solid acquisition for us because it does a lot of things for us. It not only centralizes our inventory, but it brings us some great new boat brands. It gives us 5 locations throughout Florida where we can store our inventory, we can maintain our inventory, and these marinas will actually serve as sales centers for us as well, where we can have groups of people that store boats or work on boats inside these marinas that are always looking to buy and sell boats. So I think it's a great time to take a look at our company. We've been growing very well for 13 years. I'm looking forward to putting out our earnings, sometime this March, our year end. We've grown organically very well, as you'll see in those numbers. So it's a very exciting part for me because those numbers don't include our increased floor plan. Our floor plan is the line of credit that we have to purchase used boats with. Pre-IPO, we had a $25 million floor plan. Just recently, we announced that we now have a floor plan up to $60 million. So we have double the buying power we had, up through last year. So these next couple quarters should be very telling. We also acquired, like I said earlier, Apex Marine Group that did roughly $30 million in revenues. We spend roughly $3 million a year servicing, storage, and moving boats around throughout Florida. So there's great potential for increased revenues as well as increased savings with the Apex acquisition as well. So very much looking forward to what the next 2 quarters look like when these things get implemented into our already proven business model. If you'd like to learn more about our rapidly growing company, you can always go to our website, offthehookyachts.com, for more information. Thank you.